has definitely gotten a lot of heat in the past for the fact that they are a little unwilling to deal with the issue of harassment. So you might get people who send you harassing tweets, and Twitter's kind of slow in dealing with it. Well, they're not slow in dealing material that they deem copyright violations. I'll give you an example. There's a woman by the name of Olga Lexwell who is a freelance writer, and recently she put up a very mediocre joke, if you ask me. Sorry, keeping it real, Olga, keeping it real. Let's take a quick look at the joke. She said, saw someone spill their high-end juice cleanse all over the sidewalk, and now I know God is on my side. All right, we all dislike people who are juice cleanse people, I guess, whatever. But people thought that was funny, and they actually retweeted it word for word. Olga was not amused by that, so she contacted Twitter, and Twitter very quickly took it down, okay? So let's take a quick look at the people who retweeted her. They didn't even retweet her, that's the issue. They just copy and pasted her joke. Now, their handles have been withheld in the name of privacy, and sometimes they're Twitter bots who just will copy and paste anything anyone writes. We've had that happen with TYT as well. But apparently this tweet has been withheld in response to a report from the copyright holder. They've taken all the stuff down. Twitter likes to state that they're following the DMCA laws, which basically protects copyright material. A forum like Twitter doesn't necessarily have to follow those laws. They're protected from any lawsuits if copyrighted material is posted on tweets. But nonetheless, they have decided to take charge and go after copyrighted material. I think this is really interesting, especially when you compare and contrast the way Twitter deals with harassment. Kim, what do you think? Make your point.
Well, I mean, you see this all the time. There's like an attitude on the internet that if you see something, it's yours and you get to have credit for it, and that is not the case. So I like to see that this is happening a little bit, but also I've been harassed quite a bit on Twitter too. I'd rather see action there.
Yes. I will say, Twitter has gotten better in terms of creating a mute button. I'm obsessed with the mute button. I use it all the time. When you block people who are harassing you, they feel like they've won. When you mute them, they have no idea. So I like get joy out of knowing that they're tweeting to me, and I never read it, and I never get bothered by it. It's the best. Max?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty mediocre joke, and I think she probably feels very possessive about her jokes just because it's probably not an endless well of creativity, just judging from that tweet alone.
Damn, lots of low blows for Olga today. I will say, though, she likes to test her material on Twitter. Like, that's the way she kind of figures out whether or not it's good.
Well, I hark back to, I remember I was a big fan of, when Rob Delaney first started tweeting, and something that he once said stood out to me as being really kind of smart, that you can't feel possessive about creativity. You just have to trust that there's going to be another joke, and that's kind of like what your talent is. But I do appreciate that Twitter is letting creatives take this precaution because, intellectual property is valuable for us, right?
Yes. Now, speaking of being possessive, the personal question for this story is, name one thing that you feel very possessive about. I'll start off with this one. I'm possessive over my job, I think. I'm not worried about
trying to steal your job.
No one's trying to steal my job, but I don't like taking time off because I love being here and being the person who gets to report a story. So for instance, recently we were at VidCon, and since I was speaking on a panel, I wasn't here to do a bunch of stories that I really wanted to do, including that shooting in Louisiana, the Hulk Hogan story we didn't get to do last week because I wasn't here. I didn't get to do because I wasn't here. So I guess I'm more possessive of news as opposed to my job. I want to be able to comment on everything. Kim, what about you?
I have a similar one. John told me that I'm possessive over nerd stories because he wants to do the same stories that I do. And I'm like, no, we're not the homogenous stew of cable networks that are all the same. I should do this and you should do that. But yeah, I want to do my stuff.
Yeah, and you do your own show. And
I'm the main and only host on that show, too.
Yeah,
so.
Look, there are a bunch of different shows on the network, and everyone gets to talk about whatever they want. John needs to calm down. He's being possessive.
Yeah, get him.
Yes. Max, what about you?
I believe that access is better than ownership. So I actually don't feel...
Look at you, very democratic.
Hey, I just, I don't feel the need to be possessive over things. I think the things you own end up owning you, to quote one of my favorite movies, Fight Club. But... we live in the era where this has actually become like a practical possibility, with Uber and Airbnb. I don't want to own a car anymore because we've now got Uber, which has dramatically transformed the LA landscape. So, trying to be less possessive.
I like that. Okay, so I'm going to do a very rare follow-up. That's not usually in our format, but whatever. So are you possessive of relationships maybe?
No, I think the most evolved way to go about things that you possess is to not be possessive over them, you know?
Okay, I like that. I like that. I could learn a thing or two about that. Anyway, guys, tell us if there's anything that you're possessive about. We do want to hear from you, so comment in the section below, and we'll see you very soon.